Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome. It's PTP, People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People. Live talk with Rodney Grimes and Miss Alice Williams.
Well, good evening.
And I am so happy to be back here again. It's been just an amazing 6 or 7 days since the last time we had a chance to conversate with you. A lot of information we've been seeking. We got some real good things lined up for the future. And we're just excited to bring that positive information to you. And so, how things been going with you, Ms. Williams?
It's been awesome. Thank you for asking. I just took a mini vacation to Vegas. Got back on last night. And so I'm just glad to be here this afternoon with my host, Mr. Rodney Grimes. Another show in the making. I want to talk a little bit about last week's show. First, I want to thank those who actually called in on last week. We got some very positive insight, and we really appreciate your comments and your questions. We have a very exciting show today. Don't you agree?
Yes, we got some real good gentlemen coming in. We might want to throw the names out there. Michael Lyles and Michael Johnson.
Yes, two Michaels.
Yeah, two Michaels. Hey, that's
two different backgrounds.
That's right. Two powerful men, though. Two powerful
Absolutely.
men. A lot of information. Just some good things that you're going to be able to do. Here, we want callers to call in, make sure that you ask questions. And remember that this is people to people. Remember I tell you, people to people, this is us, you, and them. We are coming at you trying to get you the proper information so you'll know what's going on, knowing how to develop your children and work through these crises and things, right?
That's right.
You know?
That's
and
right.
that power, remember about that, we talk about that power, the power. You possess the power. I possess the power. They possess. When that powers meet, you know, then that plays a factor as well. And then that's when we have that positive thinking people like Miss Alice here, who's always talking positive all the time. And that's what we're talking about. And we want to make sure that, you know, we relay that, you know, every time we do a show. We really want to make sure everybody feels welcome to know that this is about us.
That's right.
This is not about her. This is not about me. This is about us.
Yes.
You know, we really getting the information out. And it's real talk, right?
Absolutely. This is definitely a forum where people actually can get some insight on what's happening throughout the country, along with what's happening right here in your community. So we're going to be inviting guests. We have a great lineup in the future. We have awesome guests on today. But it's really going to talk about some of the things that are very positive in our community and how we can help. And what are some of the things that you can do to help, and also provide you some exciting resources that can help you as well.
And that's the good thing. Now this is a platform for us to work with, where we're going to be having the voice, you know. And this is nothing new. This is nothing new. People have been doing this for years,
yes,
okay?
They have.
But the one thing is that between Ms. Williams and myself, we like to keep it real. We come to you with real talk. We're not fabricating anything. We're not looking and trying to sit up here and just have a conversation with you. We're trying to enlighten you.
Absolutely.
To make sure you get the proper information.
Absolutely. Now, some of what we say is very subjective. We got that. We've been in this community for a very long time, and we have very strong opinions. But we do our homework. So we look at resources. We make sure that we do our homework and search the internet when we need to. If we identify any statistics or metrics that we announce on this show, we'll definitely let you know where those resources come from. But we love to hear your opinion. We're going to ask, our lines will be open again today.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Our line is 240-719-2560. You can feel free to call in at any time. You can just say hello. But if you have an opinion about anything that we discuss today, we'd like to hear your voice. That's
what we want you to do, is we want you to be involved, knowing that this is, again, the opportunity for you to call in and tell us the things that you want us to talk about as well, the information that you need. Like she said, we're going to find out the information. We'll get the right information for you. We'll make sure that we're going to put you in the right direction. This is a platform for you, me, and us to move forward. PTP, people to people, power to power. Remember that people to people, you, me, and us, them, right? The power is the knowledge, that information that we give. And this is a powerful platform here. And just know that in here, there are other individuals who have platforms as well. So, you know, please tune in and, you know, give them that opportunity to see what they're doing as well. But just know this, when you come to PTP, we keeping it real because we positive talking people. You know what I'm saying? So we try to get that information out. And you know, she did say she went to Vegas. I'm a little jealous because, you know, I know she was chilling a little bit, but that's what it's all about.
You know, I have not had a vacation since I retired 3 months ago. So I went straight from retiring after 38 years of civil service and then right into entrepreneurship. So I launched my business the very next day that I retired. So I just took a short break and had some R&R.
That's what I was excited about when we had the show a while back. And just, you know, how you just stepped out and went and just started your own business.
Yes.
And, you know, and you've been doing very well. You've been doing very well from, you know, childhood.
Thank you.
But I just really admire the things that you have accomplished.
Thank you.
And just, you know, what we want, young people. This is not about people who've already established themselves. We got a lot of people trying to move forward in a direction where they are actually needing the proper information to know how to deal with different things. I'm talking relationship, drugs, we talking politics. Everything that you need is going to be right here. We're going to make sure that's our goal, to make sure we get that information and make sure we bring in the right guests.
Absolutely.
To do so. You know?
No, I totally agree. I agree.
That's what some of these guys that we've been talking to and setting up, I'm telling you, powerful, powerful, powerful.
Yes.
It's going to be something that's going to really, really blow a lot of you people's mind. And I didn't want to say people, but, you know, I got to keep throwing that people to people in there, right?
That's
so,
right.
You know.
People to people, power to power, positive thinking people.
There you
or
go.
Or just PTP. You know, I keep telling him that's a tongue twister.
That's right. And I do it so much so I just do it in my sleep. But that's all good. But again, like I said, you know, this has been a real, real good platform for us. Know that every day that I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is I give honor to God.
Amen.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I thank God for giving me the opportunity to move forward. Now, what I start thinking about is the leaders that have passed on.
Oh, yes.
Right? And now I'm saying, well, who's going to step in their place?
Right.
I'm not saying it got to be me.
Right.
I'm not saying it has to be you.
Right.
But somebody got to do it. And what I'm saying is we got to come together so that we can actually not let their life be forgotten.
That's right.
And it's like goes, whereas we act like they just in the past. We want to talk about the things that they did to help us in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, our community definitely has changed over the years. It's so much so that I don't even recognize my own community. So I have to go out and walk around and see who's left out there. You know, I do use social media as that platform as well, because it keeps me in the know what's happening in our community. So it's very important. We had great legacy going on. You know, my parents, you know, their friends, you know, everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
And so I grew up in the local recreation department. It's been changed now to Mr. Armstrong's name, but Cork Kelly Recreation Center. And everybody knew each other, and we had a very, very strong foundation. I volunteered. My mother volunteered. We knew all the community children by name. My mother was always known as Grandma. She still is. And so likewise, you know, today we don't have that. I go into the local recreation center today, and I don't even recognize half of the staff that's there.
Right, yeah. Right? And it's a lot different than it was for us because, like with your mom and my grandmother, my mom, and other family members, it was like everybody was a part of the community.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, we talked about your dad.
Yeah.
You remember?
Absolutely.
Mr. Richard wasn't to be played with.
No,
you know,
he was not.
Good man, good man.
Yeah.
You know, but like that's with everybody's parents, one way or the other. You could walk down the street and be 4 or 5 blocks away, but you can bet that you need to know how to conduct yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
And that's the information, again, we're trying to put out for all the individuals and let them know that we're trying to stay positive in a way where everything is going to be working to your benefit and for the youth that's coming up, that they're going to be able to know, you know, exactly what they need to do, you know, and I'm excited. I'm excited. So, again, on your little trip, you know, I keep going back to this Vegas thing,
My
right?
Vegas trip.
So, you just a little R&R, you just was up there relaxing?
Actually, I took opportunity to meet with some of my clients on the West Coast and also my partners. I do have a capital venture business on the West Coast, so it gave me an opportunity to tie up some things while I was there. But I did take some R&R as well. Spent a lot of time at the pool.
Yeah,
a lot of time at the pool was really nice. And I didn't do too much gambling. I'm not a gambler, so I think I walked into the casino maybe one time, and it was great because I stayed off the strip, so I wasn't enticed to go in there to gamble. I will do it though. I'll play the penny machine.
I understand. I get it in there.
I would play that
too.
penny machine.
I would definitely do that. Speaking of gambling, that's what life is about in a way, as a gamble. Sometimes you have to really take time to say, I'm going to take a chance at it and see if I'm going to win.
Right.
You know, and have that winner's attitude.
That's right.
You just move forward with information and stuff.
That's right.
And that's, again,
you know how many people are afraid to take a risk, right?
A lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's really a problem with many people. They don't believe in themselves enough to think that they can do it.
That's right.
Yeah. I tell you a little story about some years ago when I was young. One of my friends, he's deceased. He convinced me to jump in the swimming pool. Now, this is funny because in 3 and 4 feet, I could swim, you know, a good 5-6 yards, right? Mm-hmm. So he told me, he said, well, Rodney, if you can swim down there in 3 or 4 feet, all you got to do is jump in 9 feet, and you can just swim right to the edge. Right. Where the bad part was, I didn't realize that when you jump in 9 feet, that there ain't no bottom down there for a minute.
Right.
So what happened was when I jumped in, I didn't feel the bottom, and I saw this lady diving in, and she coming in. I was drinking more water. But she pulled me out. And this is what life is about. Yeah. Taking that chance. And taking that risk. It's a gamble, right? Mm-hmm. So she takes me out, and I'm coughing up all this water, and she sets me on the side, and she said, why would you jump in and you don't know how to swim? And I said, I know how to swim. She said, well, why was you drowning? And then I said, I know how to swim. So I said, let me show you. So I'm going to jump back into 9 feet, right? Mm-hmm. Taking that chance, that gamble, right? Because I really did believe in myself. Sure. So you know what I did? I stood up and she said, well, I tell you what, if you jump in right now and you start drowning, I'm going to leave you in there. And I just went on and jumped in. Because now I understood that I wasn't going to feel the bottom, right? Right. And I started pedaling, and then I started swimming from that point on. Mm-hmm. And that's what life is. Life is just like that. You know, you got to jump in sometime. Yep. And you're going to fall. You might swallow a little bit of water here and there, but you got to get back in there and you know, just go at it. Absolutely. So, you know, I'm just really happy that now we're in position to help some people who may be drowning just a little bit in life. No, I agree. Giving them some information to help them move forward. As we talked when we had Ms. Carl on and Ms. Thompson, and we was talking about the struggles as black women. Yep. How y'all, that was the first show. Yeah, that was the first show, how y'all actually made it through different times and was able to start your own businesses and stuff. And this is the reason why we really wanted to do that, is because we know it's so many young females out there. And when I say black females, we are black, right? But this applies to white, Hispanic, Oriental, anyone who wants the information, because it's not just targeted to one individual race. Right. But as you know, we being black Americans, we have to talk from a black American perspective. That's right. And so, you know, when I see what you have accomplished and what Ms. Carl accomplished and Ms. Thompson, that was just an exciting opportunity for me to sit on that platform with y'all, and I appreciate that. Thank you. It was a very humbling experience for me. I really appreciate the invite. That was my very first time on the show, and Mr. Grimes' very first show. So I went from first show interview to now co-host. That's right. Well, you know, I had already been kind of seeing how I was going to convince you to kind of come on in. You did a great job. Yeah. But, you know, again, like I said, know that what this is about is, when I say PTP, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people, it's about us moving forward in a community. These people that we're going to be having coming in today, I'm going to talk about one of the gentlemen, Mr. Michael Johnson. Great guy, grew up with him. I'm telling you, this guy was just amazing mentor to many people, still is today, and I'm excited that he's going to be coming in. Then we have the civil rights attorney, Michael Lowes, that's coming in as well, he is. Who's running for office. And that's something everybody got to understand. You got to go out and vote. You have to go out and vote. That's very important, right? That is correct. You got to, if you're looking at the way things are right now, you got to go out and vote. Your vote matters. Everything that we do. That's the one thing, again, and when the more and more I think about it, I start getting real serious about conversation, is when we think about where we are, where our struggles are, why we struggle.
Yep.
The second show, we was talking about the struggles between the black man and the black woman.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, that was
and
a great show.
That was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I
enjoyed the dialogue on that show.
And you believe it or not, we had some nice people to call in.
Yes, we did. So don't forget, you still can call in today, 240-719-2560.
That's 240-719-2560. I just thought I'd kind of come back with that number, because we definitely want to get that support from you.
That's
and
right.
hear what you wanted, what you have to share, and what you're looking for from us, so that we can bring it back to you. I don't care what it is. We are actually trying to make sure we get you the proper information so that we can better ourselves, better our communities, and stop pointing the finger. We can't point the finger at other people.
No, we can't.
When we got to make the difference for ourselves.
That's correct.
VoxWave.com, VoxWave.com, I'm trying to tell you, that's another thing that I want to stress. I'm trying to tell you, this is a platform that's getting ready to just blow up.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you, so everybody, put the word out. It's all about this. I used that terminology when I was talking about the ladder again. I keep bringing it up. You got somebody, hold the bottom of the ladder, and you start going up to the top, and what you do is you take it to a level, you go and look over the wall, and you see what's over there, and you say, hey, I look down at Alice, thanks for holding the ladder for me. You'd be like, okay, Rodney, what you see over there? I see VoxWave.com over there, right?
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then what we do is we kind of like go over and they bring me on in and say, hey, come on, how about you getting a platform where we can start getting information out? And I'm like, you know what? Hey, I look back down. Hey, Alice, I'm going over. Come on with me. Alice, come on up.
I climbed the ladder. I'm trying to figure out who held the ladder for me.
But that's our guests. All our guests that comes in, those are the ones that's holding the ladder. Those are the ones that's helping us move forward. And even you, all the viewers. Everybody out there, know that our ratings got to go up.
Yes. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We're going to ask you to continue to view this. VoxWave.com. We're going to actually continue to call in. It's about you. It's about us again.
Yeah.
It's about the community. If you have some guests that you would like to see on the show, please let us know. We'll try to seek them out and give them a personal invite. If there's a specific subject that you'd like for us to discuss, please let us know. We will take a look at that and see how we can get it on the air as well.
And like you said, get the proper information
Absolutely.
so that we can help you move forward. We don't care what it is.
Yes.
I mean, we all have issues and troubles that we have to deal with every day. The other day, somebody said we're always under construction.
Yes,
right?
we are.
We're always under construction.
That's a good saying. Right.
And to know this, it's not one perfect person. Not that I've met yet, and I mean, I thought my grandma was perfect, but I just know that it's not one perfect person. So all of us should feel real good about ourselves when we're trying to move forward, and it's a growing process.
It is a growing process. No, I totally agree.
And you know what? I tell you, after talking to some of the young people, I started to say, "Do you ever really stop growing?" They look at me and they be like, Mr. Grimes or Pops, someone call me Pops, man, you did this, you do this. I'm still learning.
Yes.
You don't never stop
every
growing.
day. Every day.
It's a growing
I get
process.
a nugget from somewhere every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's really, really important for us to make sure that we understand. You never get that big where you know everything. You got to take the opportunity to make sure that you're getting the right knowledge. My brother always said to me, read, when I keep it real, I'm going to tell you something. That's what they say. If you want to keep a black man down, put a book in front of him.
But guess what? Knowledge is power, right?
How about that?
How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
That power to power.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I'm talking about. And that power that be in them books and that information that's on the internet and so forth, even to a point now you don't even have to read the book. Sometimes you can just get it and let it play and it'll read, it'll just give you all the dialogue of the book itself.
Audibles.
So that's some powerful technology is just amazing. Again, what we want to do is make sure that you know this is a program for all of us. Yeah. We have some guests coming up. Alice and myself, we want to build relationship with you. We want you to understand who we are, what our directions are, where we're trying to go.
Yes.
And so, we just put this time for, we can smile back at you and say thank you for everything you do.
Absolutely.
We're asking you to share the information. Remember, VoxWave.com. PTP, People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People. Live Talk with Rodney Grimes and Alice Williams. That's what it's all about. So, you know, you got to just hang in there with us, and you're going to see some real positive things. We got some good things lined up. Something else that I want people to understand, we don't just be able to come in here and just sit down and make this happen.
Right.
You know, this it takes time. We have engineers, we got people that's in the back that's really helping this thing come through.
Absolutely.
And you know, the owner of Vox Wave, and all the other individuals who come in and volunteer to come on to the show. So, you know, this is really exciting. And don't worry about it. I know you're going to hear a little tingling and some, you know, this is the tweaking of production, right? we making it happen one way or the other. It's coming together. We're putting a team together where, you know, as we grow, you'll be seeing things move in a direction where you're going to be like, this is really becoming an A1 type show. Yeah. And that's what's going to be happening. And I'm excited about that. We're going to have quite a few people really coming in. There's going to be some real good guests. And I'm just excited that it's going to be setting a platform for people to move forward.
Absolutely. What about advertisement?
And that's something that I'm glad you brought that up. We definitely looking for people to advertise. You know, you can give us a call. You know how to get in touch with us, people out there. You know, I'm not going to throw my number out there right now because I want you to have the studio number focused right now, 240-719-2560, when we get some callers to call in. But most definitely for the advertisement, the doors are open. This is something that you got to know. Small platforms like this grow from advertisement.
That's true.
Sponsorship.
That's right.
And so we're looking for that. And it's almost like, I know a lot of people say, well, you know, when you go to church and stuff like that, they pass the bucket around or the little pail or whatever. Sure. Well, you know something, the light bill got to get paid, the water got to get paid. You gotta paint the parking lot. You gotta fix the doors and all these type things. And the same things applies in these situations as well.
Absolutely. So you also get opportunity to advertise your business. So it's marketing. If you're interested, you have a business out there, and you want some sponsorship here on this show, just contact us at 240-719-2560. That's a great opportunity to market your business. Don't you agree?
Right. Yes. Yeah. And hey, you know something? Everybody have dreams, and dreams are definitely where they can come true. So I just want you to know that, again, like, it's a great opportunity to be able to come to you and give you this platform. And make sure that we are getting the right guests. Like I said, we've been lining things up with many people that's going to be able to give you some real strong information. Some of the things that we got coming up in the future is going to be, we're going to start having performances as well.
Yes.
So we're going to have some real powerful performers to start coming in as well to, you know, give you on the break time. That's another thing I think I might want to throw out there too. When we go to break, we're still tweaking everything. So we say this real talk, so I don't have no reason to fabricate anything. So
it's not rehearsed either.
Right.
Not rehearsed.
Not at all. So y'all hang in whenever we go to a break. Don't go off, because remember, we on from 6:30 to 8. So, you know, if you get a little downtime in there or whatever, like, we're tweaking everything, and eventually we're gonna be getting an A+. Right now I'm pushing the B-. I would have said a C, but because I got Miss Alice on here, so I'm definitely in the B.
I'm going to give us an A.
Oh, you're going okay, well, then I'll take
right
the
out
A.
The door. We're going to get an A.
I ain't even mad at you. Then we can push for the A+.
Yeah.
You know, so, but again, this is people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Hey, love it. And you know what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to give you some more information. Welcome, welcome. We're back. We're back. PTP, People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People. We have our guest, Mr. Mike Loud.
That's right.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great,
It's
Rodney.
my
Thank
pleasure.
you,
My pleasure.
My pleasure to be here.
Absolutely.
My pleasure
Definitely
to see
a pleasure.
you. Yes, indeed.
And we understand, sir, that you are running for a position in PG County.
Yes, indeed. The highest executive position, second highest executive position in the county, which is the state's attorney. That's the prosecutor job here in Prince George's County.
Oh, that is so good. That
Yes,
is so
indeed.
good. So you prepared for that right now?
Well, I am probably the most prepared person ever to come along for this race, the most experienced person to probably ever come along for this race based on my history, breadth and depth of the things I've been doing in the community, for the community for the last 22, 24 years as a lawyer. Yes, indeed.
So you born and raised in the area?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Congress Heights, Southeast.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I heard
Yes,
a little
indeed.
bit about that. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about Michael Loud. I
Sure.
understand that you was raised by your mother and your godparents.
Well, I was raised, yeah.
And you talked
Yes,
about
indeed.
a sideline father.
Yes,
so
indeed.
let's talk about that.
Yes, indeed. Well, you know, my mom was 16 when she had me, you know, and her and my dad were never together. So she really couldn't raise me by herself.
Okay.
And so she left me with my godparents, who basically were my mom and dad.
Wow.
She figured that, you know, having a man in the household with me, raising me, was a better option than to be with a single mother at the time. I think it was a good decision. I didn't understand it as a kid.
Sure.
You know, I wanted to be with my mom.
Absolutely.
But looking back, I mean, my godparents were really a true godsend for me. Growing up on 13th Street in D.C.
So understand private school as
indeed.
well?
Yeah. Went to Assumption Catholic school. After a few years in public, they scrounged together some money, you know, and retired person's salary to, you know, put me with the nuns, you know, so they,
Yes,
you know, look
absolutely.
out for me. And if it weren't for them, they, you know, I probably they probably saved my life in that way.
Right.
You know?
So how did you get to PG County?
Well, you know, my wife and I were looking for a larger home. We were starting a family.
Wife for 28
yeah,
years.
Yes, indeed.
Sister?
It'll be 30 years this year.
Good.
That's good.
Congratulations.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. But yeah, she wanted to have a bigger home, and we were having our second child. So we looked around, and Prince George's County seemed like a really good fit for us. The houses were really nice, neighborhood's really great, and we were happy to move to Prince George's County my last year of law school.
Okay. Actually, we got someone just calling in,
Okay,
and
sure.
hopefully it's going to be somebody that's going to call in and ask some questions.
Very good.
Absolutely. Yes.
Caller, how you doing? Hello.
Rodney,
Yes. How you doing?
I just want to give you a shout out, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. I'm not quite sure. You want to identify yourself?
This is your cousin Mark.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, simplify.
Bye.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you calling in. And you see, we have the civil rights attorney here, Michael Loud, in here, has actually given us opportunity to help promote him for this upcoming election.
Yes.
And we're definitely trying to get all the people that's living in this area to make sure they come out and promote and support him.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you calling in. That family support is what we need. You know that, right?
I got your back, bro, and I got his back too.
Thanks, cuz. Appreciate
Great.
that.
That's what it's all about. You've been a big inspiration in my life. I appreciate you. You already know I always come to you for advice, and you know, and I just thank you for the first of all your service. If anybody didn't understand the simplify,
That's Marines.
That's United States
Yeah,
Marines.
that's right.
That's
But
right.
the other thing, this guy is just amazing.
Yes, indeed.
And we appreciate you, and mad love, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, much love to you and the brother. We'll be knocking on doors for him.
Thank you, brother.
That's
Appreciate that.
awesome.
Yes, indeed. We can tell you all the information about how
Thank
to
you
do
for
that.
calling.
And
All right,
see,
you guys take care.
All right.
all right.
Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. See, we got to, when we have individuals who are willing to get in these positions, this takes up a lot of his personal time, okay? And we have to take our time to make sure we show him that gratitude and put him in a position where he can do all these things that he's planning to do to
Yes.
help the community, to help the county. And, you know, it's just a lot. And,
We appreciate it.
you know, you're an attorney, correct?
Yeah, I've been practicing attorney, licensed in the District of Columbia and in Maryland for 22 years. Basically a trial lawyer.
Okay.
I have litigated hundreds of cases in a variety of forums all across the area. I also have appellate work under my belt, and I've done all kinds of jobs in the legal field. I worked for Department of Child and Family Services in D.C., helped stand up that agency.
Yeah, I understand you've done quite a bit in that area.
Yeah. So I was there helping to set up that agency and really protect children from abuse and neglect in the city. And I was the Deputy General Counsel there.
Okay.
And currently I'm doing civil rights work, but, I got asked to do this job by the county executive. Before that, I was in private practice and still maintain a private practice on the side, where I help people vindicate their rights in court.
Yeah, we was doing like Miss Williams. She's an advocate on getting information and following up, and I'm trying to follow her lead on some stuff here.
That's a good thing.
And realize that you like helping the underprivileged.
Yes,
you like to get in there, and that's what's good about having individuals in positions that you're running.
Yes, indeed.
To make it so that people know that you have somebody that really, really cares about your welfare. See, you got to understand something. You're not just a politician.
Yes.
You're a person who cares about what's going on.
That's right.
And if you're going to look, you want to see things change around you. You got to put people in office that care about you.
Yeah.
That's
you know,
right.
And that's what after we started doing a little history and checking up on you, we trying to find out. We found out that you've been doing some things, and that's
some
what's
great
good.
things.
Yes,
I'm alum of UDC.
Oh, very good.
Yes,
Great.
I am.
Wonderful.
School of Business.
Yes, it is. School of Business. Yes, indeed.
That's
I'm still on the advisory board, the Dean's Advisory Board. I'm the vice chair of the advisory board, and so I'm happy to help out.
Great.
My alma mater. Yes, indeed.
Yes, you're doing a whole lot.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. What else are you doing? What is it that we need to know? What is it do you want the people to know?
Well, I just finished working as a Board of Visitor member at Bowie State University. I was chair of the Board of Visitors for 7 years, but I was on the board for 9 years, helping to raise a lot of money for the university there.
Okay.
In addition to that, I'm also chairing the Human Trafficking Task Force here in Prince George's County.
Yeah.
It's a task force that I helped to start, and I now currently run it, and we have about 70 agencies, organizations, nonprofits, and individuals, federal, state, and local agencies who are all coming together to help us solve the problem of human trafficking, sex trafficking, and labor trafficking here in the county. And for us here in Prince George's County, that mostly means domestic minor sex trafficking, people who want to buy sex from children.
Oh my God!
And so we're trying to stop it, and
Yes.
thankfully the Department of Justice gave us $1.3 million this year.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
One of 2 jurisdictions to get that grant.
Okay.
Because we're one of the best task forces, if not the very best in the country.
And having you in the position where you get all these votes, and we put you in the office where
Yes,
you
indeed.
need to be.
Yes, indeed.
This is opportunity for you really to tackle some of these things that you've already been working on.
Exactly. It's a great opportunity because part of the money, the $1.3 million, goes to hire another assistant state's attorney and an investigator to kind of dig in some of these issues and get at the prosecuting of some of these folks that are, really kind of abusing our neighbors in our community in a way that's really untenable for us.
The bad part about this, a lot of people don't know how serious this is.
Yeah.
Very
This is something
No,
that's
it's
going
very
on,
serious.
and
Yes.
if we remember, not long ago, we've been having a lot of children coming up missing,
That's right.
and we've had quite a few people who've been arrested for trafficking.
That's right.
And for you to be able to put yourself out there and getting right in the neighbor's front yard,
Yes, indeed. Yes, most
right at the forefront is a good thing. That's why we got to get out and vote.
Yes, indeed.
That's why it's important to do that. This is not about, people who don't have anything to do. This is about people who really care, people who know what they're doing.
Right.
I mean, for that your education and the history and the things that you have done in the community, this is going to put you in a good position to really move things forward for many people. Because this is not just about Michael Lyles.
That's right. It definitely isn't about me. As I'm often saying out in the community, I don't need a job. I've got 6 of them already. But I want this particular public service position because I think we can move the ball forward. When we started the Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force in 2013, we were the first local government task force to get started in the state of Maryland. And from there, we become one of the best task forces in the country. You know, and so it's a testament to all the people in the county who are moving things forward. However, it wouldn't get done without appropriate leadership.
Right,
and I bring that to the table.
That's
and
awesome.
Holding people accountable.
So this is an open seat. Talk a little
The
bit
State
about
Attorney's Office is, yes, an open seat. Angela Also Brooks is currently in the seat.
Okay.
She's done a great job, and we hope to do an even better job.
Sure.
And help recruit and retain some of the best and brightest. One of our biggest issues right now. We lost 22 assistant state's attorneys in the last year.
Oh, wow.
Because we're just not able to pay them enough to keep them here so they can raise a family. I want to improve that situation.
We have another caller. How you doing? Welcome.
Hello. How are you, sir?
How you doing? How's everything?
How's it going?
Good, man. Going good. I'm glad to hear you was on the radio doing your thing. I was going to call in to support. I'm proud of you. And you'll definitely be hearing from me. I'll be tuning in. What you got? What else you got going on? Any events coming up soon or what?
Yeah, we do have some things coming up, and I know who this is. I know that's my brother Anthony. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir.
God is good. God is
right.
good. Hey, you see what I'm doing? I got this gentleman here sitting next to me, man. We trying to put people in position where they're gonna be doing some things.
That's right.
And we appreciate the support from everybody, man. And how is the family?
Doing well. Family is doing well. We send our love all the way from Baltimore.
All right.
From Baltimore.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Baltimore in the house.
I got family in Baltimore. Yes, indeed.
Well, you already know about PTP. You know how
Yes,
that runs.
sir.
PTP for life. People to people,
For
power to
life.
power, positive thinking people.
For
Hey,
people.
so
Yes, sir.
hey Anthony,
Yes.
when we gonna get you running for office too, like we got Mike doing right now?
Hey, bro, you know what, man? You're about the second or third person that said that to me. I'm going to have to seriously start thinking about it.
Well, that's what we need. We need leaders like you.
Yes,
we need
indeed.
leaders like Mike.
Yes.
And I don't want this to sound like we just talking about men. We need the female leaders as well,
As well.
to definitely step up. Hey, Mike,
Yes.
I'm calling you Mike. Anthony, man, I really appreciate you calling in, man, and I appreciate you. You have always been a supportive brother, man. I really, really love you. You're definitely a brother from another mother, man. And God bless you.
Absolutely. My sentiments exactly, man. God bless, man. I'll be praying for you and sending love and positive vibes from Baltimore, bro.
My man, thank you for calling in,
Thank
bro.
you for calling.
Bless you.
No problem. Peace.
Peace. This is what I'm talking about. Again, this is why it's important. That gentleman just called in as a good gentleman, but this gentleman we got right here is running for office.
Yes.
And what we got to do is we got to make sure we put him in there. What we got to do is focus on the things that are happening in our community. And when you got people like yourself who coming straight forward, I'm talking right, getting in the fight with it.
Yes.
That's what we need. Where, people are feeling comfortable. You're very approachable. And it's not all about, you trying to shine. You're trying to open doors and make things happen. So that's something that's really, really, really good. And we need this in Prince George's County. When is the election?
Early voting is going on right now, as a matter of fact, until Thursday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. There are only 11 sites around the county where early voting is going on, like Sports and Learning Center. People might know about that location, Upper Marlboro at the community center down there. But there are 11 sites. You can find them on the web. On the 26th of June, which is actually Election Day, there'll be over 280 polling sites around the county. And that's the actual election day, 8 a.m. to about 8 p.m. On that day, all day on Tuesday, the 26th, which is next Tuesday from 1 week from today.
That is so good.
Write that down. Make sure I vote.
Yes, please,
Yeah,
please.
we got
Yes,
to make sure we do that, and we're going to make sure that we continue to keep bringing that to the forefront,
Yes,
so
indeed.
that your votes matter.
Yeah.
Your votes matter. When we talk about change. Change is not going to come if we don't go out and put people in office that's going to really service us.
indeed.
Right.
And that's what's the good thing with people like yourself and the people that you work with, because I know you have a pretty good team that works with you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to my staff at the Human Relations Commission, where we do civil rights enforcement every day, and I prosecute the cases myself. My staff is great. They've been there for many of them for a long time, but over the course of time, I've had to make sure people had other things to do, so they moved on, and we kept the best and the brightest, and we recruited really some great talent, young talent who really wants to dig into these issues of people being discriminated against, and which still goes on, more than you probably want to think about.
Right.
And even with the task force, we've got, like I said, over 70 agencies working with us. Everything from Homeland Security to FBI to local police agencies. And we're doing a great job, and we just want to continue that work we've been so blessed to be a part of.
That's what's good. Again, you when we have you in these positions, then we can start feeling safe in the community.
Right.
When we do this is real talk. So I don't have no cut cards.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna throw some low blows. We gotta get a little real.
Let's real talk.
So my thing is this: we put you in office,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
At this point, how long will your term be?
It's a 4-year term.
Okay.
This particular office doesn't have term limits, right? So if I'm fortunate to move beyond one term, folks could reelect me if I decide to run again. But right now I'm focused on the first 4 years and doing an outstanding job.
Okay.
One of the things I'm known for is being accessible to folks. People usually have my cell number. They can call me. I was on the city council in Bowie, Maryland from 2004 to 2007. And people have my cell number. They just call me all hours of the night about different things. And I feel that connection to the community, because I don't want anybody to ever complain that you called me and I didn't call you back.
Right.
I hate that because, more
That's
than anything.
very, very important.
Yeah. And so with about 900,000 citizens, they'll have my number. And if they don't get what they think they need in the way of justice, they'll be able to reach out to me. We may not be able to give you the right answer all the time, but I'll at least be able to explain what happened. And hopefully if it's something that we can correct, we'll definitely do that.
That's something I think that is really important when people get put in office, that they're accessible to people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
To a point where they,
Absolutely.
people
No,
they'll see you and know you're approachable.
That's right.
And they know that you stand by, behind what you say. Because I'm sure you don't have no campaign promises that you're not going to keep. See, I'm trying to throw some low blows up in here. I want to keep it real, just so
this position is really serious, and some of the people that are running for the position along with me, who are my good friends, may be quick to say whatever people want to hear.
Right.
That's not me.
Right.
Okay.
I am not a career politician.
Right.
And I don't tell people something I can't deliver.
Right.
And I don't use words that really don't have meaning at the end of the day.
Right.
And I get questioned a lot about the things that I believe in, but if you think about something as simple as mass incarceration or money bail, it's easy to throw out the words that people like to hear, and they want you to deliver on that. But if you don't have a history of delivering things people think about, it doesn't matter what you say.
That's right.
You've got to have a history of delivering. In 2013, there was no human trafficking task force that was locally organized. We started one. I didn't know about human trafficking, but the community said, we need you to start your own task force here in the county. And we did that. And now we're the best in the country. So
your success rate, can you talk a little bit about that? You said you're the best in the country.
Man,
so statistics or metrics?
Yeah, let's talk about that. First of all, we were the first locally organized task force in the state of Maryland, right? The state of Maryland had a task force, but Prince George's County, we're probably second to Baltimore City in the numbers of victims, right?
All right?
So we had to start there. We didn't have one, now we have one. Secondly, we're probably recovering anywhere between 10 and 20 victims every year. Many of them children. 50% of the victims we see are juveniles or minors, under 18 years old. And some of them as young as 11, right, who are being sold for sex.
Oh, my God.
We've been able to, we haven't prosecuted as many people for trafficking as we want to because the laws are not as tough as we want them to be.
Right.
But we've had some significant prosecutions, maybe about 2 or 3 per year. Every year in the last few years.
Okay.
Additionally, we've been, like I said, been able to bring together organizations that in other states and cities, they can't get them to all work together.
Right.
And we've been able to do that. So that's success. And should we do more and can we? Yes, we should and can. But it's really a community problem where people need to see that it's hidden in plain sight. You know it exists. You know the people that you used to call prostitutes and teen prostitutes and child prostitutes. You know they're out there. We don't use those words anymore.
Right.
Because for a child to be prostituted, that's rape.
Right.
So all of that success, we probably have about 35 trainings a year. We've probably done in the last 2 years over 70 public awareness presentations in the community. That's success. Now people at least know what they're seeing.
Sure.
And they got a number to call, 311 in Prince George's County.
311.
That's success.
311, okay.
Yeah, that's different than any other jurisdiction in the country where you don't have to call a 9-digit number.
Right.
Just call 311 in Prince George's County. Most of those calls for human trafficking issues will come right to my desk.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Hey, let me ask you another question real quick. Okay, so with this situation and you being in office, will you have, once we get you in, because that's what we're going to do.
Indeed.
We already claiming that. we
Thank
claiming
you.
this, and everybody going out to vote because we know that you're going to be really, really making things tougher for these people who are committing these crimes.
Yes, indeed.
And I wanted to ask the question, how hard is it for you to network with other counties when it comes to this?
Well, it's really pretty easy. As a matter of fact, when we started our human trafficking task force, we were the first one. 6 other jurisdictions started task forces based on our model.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's
great.
good. That's great.
And I went to other counties to help them start their task forces. So I'm pretty much seen as the expert in starting these kinds of things. And why is this important from the standpoint of being in a position called state's attorney is because a lot of the issues we see with human trafficking affect a lot of other crime issues. Because criminal networks and gangs control a lot of human trafficking.
Oh, wow.
But they're the same networks that control gun trafficking
Sure.
and drug trafficking
Right.
and cause a lot of the problems in neighborhoods, murders, missing children, human trafficking, robberies.
Right.
And so if we can shut down some of the networks that drive human trafficking, we'll be able to start to shut down some of the networks that drive a lot of other crime problems in the county.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
So okay, so outside of that, what's some other things that we're going to be?
So I
going to?
heard that he does music.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Yes,
something
that's
about
right.
music.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fancy myself a jazz guitarist.
Okay.
So I've been playing guitar for about 20 years, and took it up after law school, and been playing in bands regionally and locally here, and I love it.
So you have a band, or you
I do have-
play with the local
I do
band?
have a band,
Okay.
the I and We. We've been taking a hiatus for the last couple of years
Okay.
because I've been really busy. But I've been with that band for a number of years, and I've been in other bands, and I sit in with folks that need me to add my flavor of guitar playing.
So is that outside of you being able to perform in the band, with some other things that they can look forward to once you get in office that's going to help?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that we'll definitely have to do, in addition to people being able to call me, I'll have to be able to get out in the community and talk about what we're doing with the state's attorney's office, and show that we're moving the ball forward with being able to protect people, make them safe, work with all of the agencies to make sure that we've got caseloads as low as they can be. Right now, they're very high, and so people who need justice can't get justice because there are constant continuances because we just don't have enough lawyers to handle a lot of these cases. And so cases that we should probably win. And so we got to do a better job with that. And I want to be able to report positively to folks on a regular basis.
Great. Are you on social media?
I am on social media.
Okay.
Vote Mike Lyles on Facebook,
Okay.
Instagram, and Twitter, as well as my website, votemikelyles.com. And I welcome everybody to go and see some of the things we've been able to do. My band performed in my yard for Labor Day Cookout last year,
wow.
and we turned it out. Had about 400 people in the backyard, and we've got other things. I just spoke at the Charles Herbert Flowers High School about 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
You can see that speech on our Facebook page and on the website. So,
Okay.
This gentleman, I think we got a winner here.
Yes.
And that's what's going to be, again, it's going to be up to us to make sure we put him in office.
That's right.
You got to understand something. If we want to see change, then we got to get out there and we got to vote. We got to put ourselves in a position where we have people that are approachable, where he's taking the time to come in and talk to you. He, again, like I said, this real talk, we keep it real. I'm just did a little background on him. I already knew that this gentleman was serious about his business.
Yes, he
is.
is.
And that's what really excited me. And what I'm also looking at is that he's being like a platform for other people. You from the area.
Yeah, I am.
So, it's not like, he moved in from another location and just jumping in. No,
Right.
he knows the situations in the area.
He knows the community.
He knows the community.
That's
and
right.
that's what make a difference when you put people in office that actually know the area, they know what's going on, they know what's needed, right?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Hey, maybe we can get Ms. Williams to run for something too.
I don't know.
You know what?
But be honest with you, I'm born and raised in Alexandria, Virginia. But guess what? 17 years PG County, and I don't know much about PG County politics.
Yes,
so
indeed.
I've been lately reading about the politics here.
Gotcha.
That's why I got an opportunity to read about you.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good.
I
Wonderful.
did. I took the
Yes,
opportunity to get some history on you to figure out who you were.
Well, that's good.
I plan to get a little bit more involved. I definitely like to get involved into some politics, especially anything relating to women's commission and things like that.
Oh, very good. Wonderful.
Absolutely. Entrepreneurship, jobs, careers,
Very
anything helping the youth
Yes, indeed.
relating to some kind of nonprofit in the area of that. So, yes, I'm learning PG County
if I can
politics.
help in any way, you let me know.
I appreciate that.
We try to keep an open door policy and help folks, good folks, do good work.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So, look, I got to throw something in there. So, he said open door policy. You know what that is? That's people to people. Y'all know that, right?
That's right.
That's people to people.
Yes, it is.
And then, you know what? When we put him in there, he got that power that we need, that power that we get, that power to power.
That's
so we
right.
move forward. And then that information that he give us, that positive thinking people, PTP. I'm trying to tell you, whenever I throw that out there, it's like this about gentlemen like this who's out there trying to make a difference in the community. And that's what I'm talking about. It's not just the logo. It's not just people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. It's what it means. And that's what's important. Put them in office. Let's make sure that we're going to have people that are approachable. Like the gentleman said, yo, if he can't talk to you, he'll sing to you.
I've been known to do that.
No, but you know, on the real, it's just, I'm really, really happy that you're running. I'm excited. I hope that I'm now becoming one of your close friends.
Indeed. I appreciate
you are
that, Rodney.
always welcome to come in and talk about whatever you're trying to do. This is a platform for you
Absolutely.
to just come in.
Yes,
Yes.
I mean, this is amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I really have already claimed it.
Yes, indeed.
And we
Thank
see
you,
you
sir.
we see you winning this.
Well, the votes are up. The votes are up already.
Good.
Prince George's County has outstripped all the other counties in the state in early voting turnout.
Okay. Oh, wow,
So
great.
it's really good. I think that means a great turnout for me, because
Good.
I've been able to gin up a lot of support and excitement about the race,
Right.
where I think there probably wasn't a lot of excitement because certain people had been blessed to be the winners. You know?
Sure.
Right.
And what I decided is that the people need a choice.
That's right.
A choice based on just being able to touch a candidate and talk to them and experience what it's like to actually run and win. And we brought in a lot of people. We're very happy with where we are.
Hey, when you was a child, did you see yourself in this position?
I thought, I got asked this question the other night at a candidate forum. I thought I was going to be Michael Jackson, right? so I saw myself more in entertainment. And that's kind of why I play guitar and I'm in a band, and I like that, that aspect of life. I thought I was going to do that. I never saw myself in politics, really. But, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X were the two of my heroes growing up.
Man,
yes.
And, as I got older, I kind of figured I was going to do something like that. Interestingly enough, I didn't find out until later. I wanted to go to law school, but I was fighting it, because I didn't want to have to go to school again. I left UDC. I'm like, I just want to work and raise a family. But I found out through reading that both Malcolm and Martin wanted to be lawyers, but they were discouraged from being lawyers because they were black.
Yeah.
And so I kind of fell back into it, and I said, if this is a way for me to help people vindicate justice, I want to do it. It's like being a fighter for people,
Right.
and being in the courtroom is the real ring where you can really do justice and help people and fight for them.
Well, we're glad you followed your spirit.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. I am too.
So again, I always tell people, stars are not made; they're born.
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed.
That's right.
And I see you as a star.
I appreciate that.
You know,
Thank you very much.
and for you to be on the platform and put yourself out there and take the time out to come to the community and say, hey, I want to make a difference.
Yes,
we applaud you, and I appreciate you so much.
Indeed. Hey, Rodney, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It's been a
nice to
pleasure.
meet you.
Absolutely.
Pleasure meeting you.
Hey, we getting ready to go for a break. This is PTP, People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People. Y'all stay tuned. Don't go nowhere, because we got somebody else coming in. And remember, you got to go out and vote, because we got to have Michael in that seat. See you in a few seconds. that was a real good interview with Michael Lyles. And I was so excited to have him in. And this is just another good opportunity for us to see some positive men doing some positive things.
Absolutely.
And saying that, we have another positive man that we just brought in, Mr. Michael Johnson.
Yes.
Appreciate
that. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate y'all.
You know, really, a lot of people, you'll see, I came, and I should say not I, but we grew up in Old Town Alexandria. We got quite a few people over there that have been very strong in the community. And Michael, that's one of the things that I know you best for. Not only have you, served in the United States Marine Corps, Semper Fi, you know. If I could, real quick, I'm gonna tell a little story about that. Of course, Michael's a lot older than me. No, but he's a little, he maybe got me by a year or two. But when he joined the Marine Corps, I had no idea. And I'm sure that as like I did, we wanted to better ourselves. Right. And so when I joined the Marine Corps, I ended up in California, Camp Pendleton. And it's a small world. It's a big world, but it's a small world. Because one day I'm walking across the street and I hear somebody holler, Rodney Grimes. And it was one of my homeboys, Michael Johnson. And I was when I saw he was a Marine, I was like, you know what? I can do this, And so that was a little short story I just wanted to tell you about. It was good to see you. Then I felt real confident because I was only 18 at the time, and that gave me courage to go forward.
Yeah, I think I was about 23.
Yeah,
just had a baby, so that's why I went in,
Yeah, but
I just became a father.
That's okay. Yeah. You know what you're talking about. Michael, it's so good to have you on the show.
Great to be here.
Native of Alexandria, Virginia, we were very happy to have one of our own on the show and talk about some of the things that he's been doing in the community of Alexandria. So by way of introduction, just tell us a little bit about what are you doing?
Basically, my job is community outreach, and I was placed in that job probably about 11 years ago now. I also run a program in Northern Virginia called Safe Place, which is a national program. And just like Mike Lyles before, I do gang intervention, human trafficking, sex trafficking, bullying, anything dealing with a kid in crisis. But I did have the opportunity to be trained by law enforcement, crisis intervention.
Sure.
So they see me as a first responder for a whole lot of things that goes on in the community, whether it's fights or whether it's just the community in uproar. I hate to bring this sad situation up, but we had 5 young men that was killed about 3 or 4 years ago within a 1 year period within a 3-block radius.
Yes, right. I remember that.
I was called on and I applaud the law enforcement officers for trusting in me to call me out there to try to defuse some of the situation.
Sure. Right.
What a lot of people know, I'm not going to call the names out, but is that those young men pretty much had taken a group picture together the summer before that.
Right.
They all hung together.
Right.
And then you saw 3 or 4 of them that died from each other's gunshot,
wow.
which was real bad.
Wow.
But yeah, so basically what I do, I travel, I do presentations on Safe Place and what it is with kids, what it is about crisis. I work very closely with law enforcement, building community and policing, law enforcement, building that bridge, because I didn't like cops when I was young, and I let those guys know that I throw the fingers up at them and cuss them out and everything else, but that was because there was no relationship.
Sure.
Right.
So right now what I like to say is that we have to build relationships with one another and then expand from there. Some of the things we've done in the community, to get back to your question, we've done job fairs for adults, and then we did one for kids. And when we did the one for the young folks between the ages of 18 and 26, we had to actually go out and buy clothes for some of those young folks, which we did through Councilman Willie Bailey.
Sure.
And the other nonprofit I'm associated with, Firefighters and Friends to the Rescue, that's made up of police officers, what you call them? I just lost my train of thought on that. Firemen, Sheriff Department,
sure,
and other agencies in the community. What we try to do is provide services that aren't provided by other means to families, whether it's backpacks for kids going back to school coats in the wintertime, toys at Christmas time. I mean, we do probably $50,000-$60,000 worth of toys.
Oh, wow. That's
we
great.
do about another 45,000 backpacks, coats, not only in Alexandria, but Fairfax County as
Yeah,
well.
that's what I was going to ask. So your
Yeah.
focus is not necessarily Alexandria or Hurt. You also
My job is, but what we do community-wise, we'll go anywhere. We've even gone into Washington, D.C. to help out.
Okay.
And this recent tragedy with his PG cop was killed. We agreed to do something with his wife.
Wow.
Upcoming.
Okay. That's great.
In fact, something that you said, speaking about the situation in the community when these young guys was having those issues, one of the things that I know that you were really good at, and that was networking in the community. You always been that type of person that could walk in and everybody knew you, and so you can walk in and diffuse these things. Was that really, really rough for you at that time, being that you knew these guys? And
it was rough me knowing what they was going through and what they was doing to one another, because when we grew up, we had a beef, you either fought it out or you just let it go.
Right.
They are more in tune to this, I got to get a gun, I got to kill him, I got to get my respect. And that hurts when you see that, because back when we came through, and I try to share with those young guys, is that there's other ways to defuse situations besides violence.
Yes.
And the other part of it is that so many of the parents, what I found out from these young men and women, because there's women involved too.
That's right.
I haven't run across them lately. It's just a lack of parenting. And when we look at that, we're looking at that there are very, there's a great number of young folks having babies, and they're still babies themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
But yeah, one thing about that, I was never afraid because I grew up in that community.
Right.
So that's why I was a perfect fit. And then when I share my story with some of those young guys, it's like, I wasn't the best basketball player, football player, but I had something else going for me, which was I had a gift for gab, So I tell them I walked in those same spots that they walked in, and I've seen things that they've never seen. Like we were saying earlier, it's a process.
Yes, it is.
And we can't just jump out there and get me a brand new car if I don't have the money to back me up or the job to back me up.
Right.
So we're trying to get them to understand that. I think right now with the young folks, it's just a matter of us redirecting them in a positive way. And what I mean by us, I'm talking about schools, churches, law enforcement, rec centers, the powers that be, because it seemed like we got into a real gritty type lifestyle. A lot of us.
Sure.
It is all about, sometimes just about self.
Right.
And it's not about opening the doors for others.
Right.
And that's what's really, really important. You're going to see that I'm constantly all the time trying to plug PTP. That's what you do. You're a people person. You're a people person. You go to people. And he's always been like that. And because we grew up from the same neighborhood, if you think about back in the day, really, those young guys couldn't handle. They couldn't handle what was going the way we came up.
Right.
Because, like you said, for real, if you had a problem with somebody, you either knuckled up, and if you knuckled up, and after you lost the fight, you would go to school the next day, and it was forgot about.
It was over. That's right.
But all of our parents played a factor.
Absolutely.
And we talking the community. We had Lucky and Mr. Richard. We had
especially his dad,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, we had quite a few fathers who were in the community to help us stay focused, and then mothers as well. And also, because you mentioned something, about your dad, you said your dad could whistle, and you'll come.
And I knew I could hear the whistle.
Right.
I don't care if it was 100 kids playing. If he whistled, I knew it was him. And you got to hit the door before it get dark.
Right.
That's
what
right.
that whistle was for.
Right.
And I can imagine you running sometime because, and it wasn't out of fear, it was out of respect.
Respect.
That's right.
Yeah. And that goes a long way. And I think that's what we need to get back to, is respecting other people and meeting them where they are, and who they are, opposed to trying to impose our thoughts and our little idiosyncrasies on them. One of the things I'm watching that's transpiring in the community is that we had people move in. I think you were saying something about this earlier, and you don't know the community anymore.
Right.
And I told them when they first started development, and it was Alexandria Redevelopment Housing Authority Administrator, I said, look, y'all not blending this community in right. You have people coming here like they Christopher Columbus discovering something. We've been here.
That's right.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right, right,
that's
right.
They can have an outdoor theater to show movies, but we can't.
Right.
Right.
You know, it's like they can throw a block party, but we can't have one.
That's right.
You know, I mean,
Hey,
Yeah.
can
So I want to remind the callers first. Please feel free to call in 240-719-2560. We have Michael Johnson here from Alexandria, Virginia. We definitely would like to hear from you. This is a great opportunity. If you have a question for him or you just want to make a comment or some statements, please call in now 240-719-2560. So, Michael, I want to ask, how do you get the community involved?
Basically, what I did was I went around and I saw, and it's very important, I saw those who wanted to help and those that didn't. But what I would say to those that didn't is that if you could just do a flyer for us,
Right.
you're supporting what we're doing.
Right, right.
Because everybody can't do person to person or hands-on, as we call it. The other part of it was when we first started doing the backpacks, we only had one law enforcement officer that showed up, and that was Officer Benny Evans. And Benny is a guy that does a lot for the homeless, the homeless veterans.
Yes.
I mean, we just came back from Houston speaking to like 30,000 law enforcement and DAs, and I'm like, how did I get here? You know? But I was there, you know.
Right.
So he came in, and then I went and I got someone from the Alexandria Fire Department, Chris Thompson.
Oh,
who was
yeah.
at
Yes,
Alexandria.
right, right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
Chris.
So what I did was I
worked
leaned
together.
on guys that was from the community I knew. Said, look, just give me 1 hour, give us
Right.
one event, and then we had Sheila Whiting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sheila.
Sheila Stubblefield was Whiting.
Yep. Yep.
She was the
Mount
director
Vernon.
of Charles Houston, so
Yeah.
she said, right, she was at Mount Vernon with Charles Houston. She said, whatever you want to do, Michael, just do it here at my center. So that was the door open.
Yes.
Right.
And
yes.
by everybody seeing what we was doing, other people started, jumping on board.
Right.
But like I say, and I tell the chief of police, Mike Brown, this all the time, I don't want any of your officers in this community if they don't want to be here.
That's right.
Right.
Because
That's
that's a
important.
negative.
That's
That is
right.
important.
Right.
That's
a
very
big
important.
negative, right. So just going out and recruiting in a sense, and then sitting back and we just finished up doing 8 neighborhoods in Alexandria, doing community cookout registration for the rec.
Okay.
We did that with law enforcement, fire, ACAP, which is adolescent, teen, pregnancy, SAPCA. I'm on the board of opioid committee.
That's a big epidemic.
Right,
out
in the
there on
Alexandria
opioid.
Hall of Fame,
Right.
T.C. Williams Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I'm on that committee. I shouldn't tell people because they know who's voting in. But the whole thing is just give something back to the community because I never expected to do what I'm doing because I came out of the Marine Corps and I worked for Virginia Power Company,
Right.
which is now Dominion. And I worked there for like 10 years, and the guy walked in one day and said, look, I don't like this job anymore. I mean, them guys making high 6-figure salaries there. And I'm like, the guy said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to work in my community. He said, you crazy. So I got started with the Untouchables. With
Oh, yeah,
Teddy
I
Jones.
remember that.
Don't
Yes,
talk-
that's
my
right.
little,
We had a
my
lot of
little
national-
cousins and
Yeah.
nephews and stuff
The
was in
Untouchables.
there.
I
and
remember
we
that.
made-
They went with you to see the president.
Right,
at
the
the
president,
time.
right.
Right.
Yeah. So we made a lot of, we saw General Colin Powell and a lot of other celebrities, Oprah Winfrey.
Yep.
So we set the standards for a lot of mentorship programs. That program is still ongoing, and it's the oldest mentorship program in the city.
Oh, wow.
With that being said, I think it's one of the under-respected programs in the city.
So how do people get involved?
People need to get involved with the Untouchables.
Yeah, Untouchables.
Oh, they can contact Mr. Teddy Jones at the Charles Houston Rec Center, and they bring kids in from the age of 5 to 17.
Okay.
And there's a whole different. They have a theory called the PI, dealing with a person's physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual needs.
Okay.
And that's what you have to do because if one of them is off, it's just like you cooking. If you
Right.
forget something, it don't taste good.
Yeah, that's
As my
right.
mother got older, up in age,
Right.
I would eat her food, and she was trying to figure out why. Well, Mama, you forgetting the ingredients. Right? So that's the same way.
Right.
But yeah, it's a great program. And then you, Omega's Boy Club out in California, they copied some of the things we was doing.
Oh, really? That's
They
great.
put 150 kids in the college, which we put about 10, which was good because we didn't have any money.
Right.
And then you have like the groups coming out now, like Fathers in Touch and Families Involvement and all that. But we wasn't focused on the family. We just focused on saving the kids.
Sure.
You know, and I think that thrusted me into the work I'm doing today because I never chose. I didn't choose it. It chose me in a sense.
Right.
But I said if I go in, I'm gonna make sure I do a good job, I want to give it 120%.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
And that's what took me so long getting
So
married.
what about leadership involvement? How do they play? How do you get leadership, the community leaders, to support you?
Basically, you know, you either help us out now, or you're gonna pay for it later down the road.
All right.
Because what a lot of people don't understand is that Virginia itself, the whole state, for every one white person that's in jail, there's 6.
Yeah.
Whether you're at the juvenile level
Yeah.
or whether you're at the adult level, you know. So you look at that, and then you have to look at that by you charging a young man for stealing a cell phone, grand larceny, that's a felony.
Yeah.
So right there, you got him set up for the system.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? So we're trying to get some things like that reduced, like, okay, let's make it $1,000. But you shouldn't be stealing it. I'm not saying you should be stealing it all.
Right.
But, you know, with the laptops and the phones now, we take a phone, I
Right.
mean, you know, and
Yeah.
it'll cost you the rest of your life.
Sure.
You know, and then we have young ladies. I had one incident where we had young ladies, it was like 6 of them, and they came up and they was in high school. And I was trying to get them a job at our job fair, and they told me they had felonies. I'm like,
Wow.
wait a minute.
How? I mean, that's crazy.
Fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know,
For fighting?
fighting. Now they charge them with felonies. You
Oh,
know,
my
they've
goodness.
charged some of the young ladies with felonies for just fighting, or the guys too. So my whole thing is like, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, which
Right.
old folks
Yes.
tell us.
Sure.
And that's very true, because a lot of them have to understand that we're feeding a very expensive, ineffective, and unfair system.
That's right.
You know?
Yes.
And I do a lot of reading. You know, I have to read reports like from the Justice Policy Institute,
Sure.
and National Drug Institute. I have to
Sure.
read all those things because I'm
Right.
involved. But we have so much going against us that other people don't understand what we're trying to tell them or relay to them. So I say, like, come here, and Will Belly and Officer Evans, that's my main sidekicks, we always say, just come see what we're doing.
Right.
Right.
You know, you don't have to give us a dime, but just come see what we're doing. See how you impact the kid's life when you redirect them, you know, or you redirect the family.
Right.
You know, there's a young lady named LaChana Robinson. She's a sportscaster for ESPN and a couple other, you know, but she's from Alexandria. She wrote me the best letter because the coach didn't want her to play basketball. She had told the coach at Wake Forest she can't rebound, she can't shoot, and she can't dribble. So I asked the coach at Wake Forest, can I teach you how to rebound, make free throws, and block shots? Coach said, sure. So LaChana went there and made ACC Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
But she said she owed it to me, but I said, China, you don't.
Right.
Right. Right.
You did it because you put the time in.
That's right.
So we have to put the time in. I tell the leaders, they have to put the time in with the community,
Sure.
Right.
with the kids,
Right.
so we can make a difference. You can't ride past the neighborhood and see a young black man with his pants hanging down
Right.
and say he's been to jail or he's going to jail. That may be true, but I know from my experience, we had 25 guys that we suited up, gave them clothes.
Right.
And I
That's a
thought
blessing.
20 of them had criminal records.
Right.
3 of them had criminal records.
Wow.
So I'm like, hold it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, all y'all want is opportunity and a chance.
That's right.
We're not giving them that. I think our educational system, not only education, but our spiritual system,
That's
the
true.
churches
That's right.
need to really get involved. And I don't mess with a lot of churches. I do associate with a couple of pastors from churches that I know are doing, they say it's God's work, but it's the work we all should be doing. You
Sure.
know?
That's
so
right.
I partner
That's
with
right.
them.
Sure.
You know, I don't go to church every Sunday, but I do have a spiritual background and belief because my mom gave me that.
That's
She gave me a
right.
piece of that rock
That's right.
when we were younger. But yeah, it's just getting them to come out and see, hey, I'd rather see a kid smile than a kid with a frown, because a kid with a frown tells me something wrong, something ain't right. Those are the ones that are committing the crime.
Right.
You know, we ain't going to eradicate crime or criminal behavior.
Right.
Don't
Right.
think I'm saying that.
Right.
But we can impact and change the direction of some of these young men and women, because we have the highest rate of black males and females going or being incarcerated there than we ever had. You know, and it's for little simple things that they put in place, roadblocks for us.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
And what I try to get the leaders to just do is just change the way you look at things, so the things you look at change.
Sure.
They have to do the same with us, you know, because I've been out where I had on my city badge and everything in a city car. There was a big fight with some teens. I break it up. I'm on the phone with the mayor, Bill Ewell at the
Sure.
time.
Absolutely.
White officer, young rookie, come across the street. I told him everything is cool, so I'm walking back to the car. He said, "You jaywalking?" And I'm
What?
thinking he's joking.
Right.
So I said, "Yeah." So I kept going to the car, and I'm in a city vehicle. He said, "Oh, you're just gonna keep going?" So I turned around and hit him with the F-bomb, like, what's wrong with you? And the mayor, said, "Who was that?" I said, "Some officer trying to give me a ticket for jaywalking." So we went through a rigmarole with that. What I'm trying to get the police department to do, and I'll listen more because I talk all the time.
No, we love. People need to know what's going on. We really appreciate your comments.
What I'm trying to get
input.
the law enforcement officers to do is retrain the trainers, and we're working on that. We're going to really, Alexandria has a lot of good things going, but we have a lot of things we can still work on. And that's one of them. We want to retrain the trainers who train those guys that's been on the force 25, 30 years, because those guys are training the young rookies that's coming in, and they're getting those bad behaviors. What we also need for our young black males and females to understand that you have to get on the law enforcement side so you can make that change.
Right.
Yes.
That's
You
right.
can't-
We can't be scared to be police officers.
You can't be the enemy to the law.
Right.
You got to work with the law. And that if one of the things that I think that's been a problem is the communication with the officers, the youth, and all the people in the cities itself. They're afraid to talk to the kids, and it's a lot of us got to get in position to do that. So that when like you said, just because a guy is walking with his pants hanging down doesn't mean he's a criminal.
Right.
This is an age where we need to hopefully that they'll grow out of that.
Right.
But we got to be able to get out there and communicate. I wanted to ask you this question: how hard is it for you to get support from other individuals in the city?
Well, not being too critical, we could do better. We are getting some support, but one of the things that I've pushed a couple of council people to say or do, there's a lot of new development in Alexandria.
Oh, yes, it is.
Right.
So I said, why can't we ask them for $10,000? Because there's a lot of development.
Right.
$10,000 is nothing. I went to a party one company had, and they spent $150,000 on the Christmas party.
Right.
And my thing was, the guy said, "Mike, you enjoying yourself?" I said, "No." He said, "Why not? All these festivities?" Because I could have took $10,000 to change somebody's life.
That's right. That's true.
So we get all
true.
those companies to pitch in money into our social program. You don't have to pay to go on the rec because you have to.
Right.
You have to pay, but I, under the direction of our deputy director, William Chesley, we're setting it up where we don't want to turn anybody away.
Right.
So if it's a hardship case, I refer them to him or the deputy chief or somebody. So we can get them in.
I'm glad you're saying that. Specifically, that particular statement about the recreation centers. When we were coming up, it was free.
It was free.
Right.
Yeah.
It was you go to school, you go to the rec. I volunteered at the time as well, so a lot of the kids knew me. But now you're finding that the rec don't look like our people anymore, right?
And that's why I go back to the Christopher Columbus syndrome.
Right.
Is that they coming into a community that has a rich history, and they're saying, "I found this."
Right. Yeah.
No, we was here.
Right.
We just like the Native American. We was here.
Yeah.
We got a rich history. If you walk in the Charles Houston Rec Center, and they have what they call a Hall of Fame done by Mr. Dawkins and his mother.
Yes.
I didn't know that so many prominent black people came from within their 5-block radius.
Yes.
When they were living in shacks. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Yep.
He coached.
Yes, he did.
And like Rodney said earlier, he ain't take no crap. Mr. Lyles didn't. Look at it. You could only, if they rolled past on a Friday and you was on the corner too late, they gonna say something.
That's right. They were setting that example, and they made us be responsible for our actions.
Yeah, and that's something we have to get back to. And then I also tell them that the public is the police, and the police is the public, meaning that those we have to monitor each other,
right?
Because we know where law enforcement started. It was to capture runaway slaves.
Yep. And
the best place that had the best law enforcement, I think it was back in 1824. Somebody could correct when they call in. It was in London. And they had, if a police did something wrong, that the public would tell on them. But the police also was part of the public, so they had to understand that.
Right.
That when I'm not in uniform, I'm just like you.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got to get back to that, because now we put a uniform on, and we go out there and dog somebody out, and then we go take their uniform off. But guess what happened? Somebody come back and dog you. I've spoken with a law enforcement officer. kids on drugs.
Yeah, they are. That's true.
What am I going to do?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I said, remember that young black man that you arrested for that small amount of marijuana?
Yeah.
That could be your son.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
You don't want that to happen to your son, but you rather do it to another person.
Yeah.
Change the way you look at it.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we got a lot of work to do, but we're doing a lot of things. I know I had spoken to Rodney way back when I started the group in the school, because Rodney wanted to do photography. That was his thing. I knew that, right?
Yeah.
And Rodney said, look, you know what? I'll come in and teach him. Just give me the time. So I told him, buy the camera. You think I got some camera? Nobody bought camera.
Right.
And I was going to do it for free.
For free.
Right.
Because he was communicating
Right.
with me. We were, back then, we had quite a few people that were soldiers out there in the street. God bless his soul, rest in peace, Lenny Harris.
Yes,
you know,
he was.
we had a lot of us that was networking. We was crossing paths with one another and doing a lot of things in Old Town Alexandria. I'm really enjoying the conversation. It's getting close to the closing time. But one of the things that, first of all, I want to make sure that we're going to get you back on the show.
Absolutely.
And we want people to know that, you know, all this, what was happening in Old Town Alexandria happens in all communities, and you got to get involved. And you know, and that's one of the things. And one of the things that when we talk about the police and the law enforcement agencies, you know, sometimes you look at them as like they're gangs.
Right.
You know, they come across as, okay, we're here and you're there,
Right.
and we're supposed to be together. One of my favorite shows is Andy Griffin.
Okay.
Okay. And Andy Griffin, I'm sorry, you know, I enjoyed that because he was a part of the community.
Right.
And everybody, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you want. I know that might sound a little crazy, but you want to make sure.
He was in the community.
I tell one time I did something, and it was an officer who came because I had some problems in the street. And so anyway, it did require for them to take me down, right?
Sure.
So when he came and he found out the situation, that's what he did. He asked me. He didn't come and just body slam me down. He found out what was going on. So he said, look, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to put the handcuffs on you to take you out of here. But he said, when we get in the car and get around the corner, I'll take them off. He did this. I'm not going to call his name because, one, I have a problem being closed in.
Sure.
So long story short, what he did, he took me around the corner, he took him back off. He said, yo, man, I understand what was going on, blah, blah, blah. He said, but, you know, this is what's going to happen. He explained to me when we went down. And he knew that I was defending my area at the time. And what I really admired about him was that he made me comfortable to know that he had my back.
And
That's
that
right.
led the process to where both of y'all, you don't have to escalate. And that's what I'm trying to get a lot of those law enforcement officers to understand. It doesn't have to escalate. You know, I've been called MFs and everything else. I'm saying, like, I'm immune to that.
Right.
So give me a word I don't know, so I can ask you, hey, what you say to me? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's what we need to do. And you know, on that note, there are 389 gangs that's known to federal law enforcement, but we keep hollering MS-13 Crips Blood. Well, the police department is a gang.
Hey, for
United
real.
States Marine Corps is a
It's a
gang.
Yes.
And each one,
Right.
hey, that's what happened in the communities.
Right.
Well, hey, I'm sorry we're running out of time. This is Rodney Grimes, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I appreciate you, Michael Johnson.
Appreciate you.
I
Yes.
appreciate my co-host, Ms. Alice Williams.
Absolutely.
And know this,
Thank you.
hey, we care about you. Hey, get out there and vote. Don't forget to vote for Michael Lyles. Hey, and we will see you next Tuesday, 6:30. PTP, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people.
Good night.